first customer of the day. Come on in.
Put him up!
Oh, no.
I said put him up, goddammit! This is a robbery!
I have a husband!
Shut the hell
children! I have kids! I have mimos!
Take it! Take it!
You're giving me money.
Take it all!
Oh.
Have a great day.
See you around. Huh. Well, that was awfully traumatizing.
Okay. That was my impersonation of the worst robbery, because that is exactly what we're checking out today. The top 5 dumbest robberies in the history of burglary.
Number 5, the scratch card. At 2 a.m. in Clearwater, Florida, Herbert McClellan came up with a brilliant plan to make some quick and easy money. He walked into a convenience store, waited for the cashier to get distracted, and at just the right moment, swiped 13 scratch-off lottery tickets straight from the counter. With his stolen fortune in hand, he left. Once safely hidden, he eagerly scratched off the stolen tickets and discovered his big prize.
Oh my God.
A whopping $30. This wouldn't have been that ridiculous if McClellan had cashed in his winnings anywhere else.
No! Nah. I mean, I know that these are the dumbest robberies of all time, so I shouldn't be too surprised that this is going to be incredibly dumb, but really? Nah. That's like dining and dashing and going back to that same restaurant the next week. At least wear a disguise. If he's going back, put on a wig, put on some makeup, and maybe they won't recognize you, but going back to the same spot that you stole the lottery tickets from, that's a new level of low IQ.
But he drove right back to the same store he had just robbed. The cashier, who hadn't magically forgotten about the theft just hours earlier, immediately called the cops. When they arrested him, police discovered he was also driving with a suspended license, his second offense. To top it all off, McClellan's poor decision-making cost a $12,000 bail.
I'm also now realizing that generally people who are criminals and break the law have lower IQ. And these are the dumb people of those dumb people. So this is like the ultimate S-tier list of some of the dumbest people on the planet. If I somehow find myself in this video, I'm gonna have a very strongly worded email to send to somebody. I don't know who yet, but I'll find out who. Anyway, number 4.
The reverse Santa Claus. Jesse Berube had what he thought was a foolproof plan. Sneak into Lori's little shack in Citrus Heights, California, by sliding down the chimney, grab some cash, and disappear into the night. But unlike Santa, he lacked both magic and foresight. The moment he dropped in, he realized he had a serious problem. He was stuck. No amount of wiggling or twisting helped. Out of options and likely regretting his life choices, Berube did what few criminals have done before. He called 911 on himself. Firefighters arrived with specialized equipment, carefully pulling him out of the narrow chute. Despite his not-so-graceful extraction, Berube was unharmed, except for his pride.
He self-reported himself. He went to go rob a store and self-reported in real life. I'm not talking about Among Us. We're talking about in real life. This guy called the cops on himself. That's unbelievable. Also, how can he not push himself back out? Like, you jump in, you get stuck, okay, as the famous and very inspirational Miley Cyrus once said, everybody makes mistakes. But when you're in that situation, how can you not get back out? I don't understand that.
Number 3, robbery to go. Albert Bailey wondered how to make a bank robbery more efficient, without using guns. Then it hit him. Why not call ahead? So he picked up the phone and dialed People's United Bank in Fairfield, Connecticut. His request? He wanted the bank to have the money ready for him to pick up. Specifically, he asked for the cash to be placed on the floor in $100 bills, neatly packed in bags for easy grab and go. Oh, and he'd be there in 10 minutes, as if he were ordering a pizza. The bank, however, had a different plan. Instead of stacking money, they obviously called the police.
I have a sneaky suspicion that some of these people may have been influenced in their decisions by perhaps a couple of drinks, maybe a couple of puffs of certain ingredients, who knows? Something though. But I feel like there's no way, no matter how dumb you are. I mean, we're talking Adam level dumb. Even he wouldn't do something like this. So there must be some other influence here that is making people do these just awful, tremendously stupendous decisions.
When Bailey and his teenage friend walked in expecting a smooth pickup, officers were already there, waiting to serve up some handcuffs. No weapons, no masks, just two guys walking straight into their own arrest. Number 2, the invisible robbers. In 1995, MacArthur Wheeler, a 44-year-old man from Pittsburgh, was dead sure that lemon juice could make him invisible to security cameras.
I did say that this will be the dumb of the dumb, but now this might be the dumb of the dumb of the dumb of the dumb. I mean, that is truly, it's almost inspirational how somebody can dream and truly believe in something that is so clearly inaccurate. As dumb as it may be, there is some aspect of inspiration there.
Why? Because lemon juice is used as invisible ink, so in his mind, it would work the same way on his face. So, Wheeler and his partner covered their entire faces in lemon juice and robbed 2 banks in broad daylight, without masks. They even smiled directly at the cameras, thinking they couldn't be seen. Of course,
obviously the list gets worse and worse, but what is number 1? I'm still really interested to see where this goes, but what could possibly be dumber than that? Oh my God!
The police immediately recognized him from the footage and arrested him the same day. When Wheeler saw the security footage, he was shocked and shouted, "But I wore the juice!" This case was so ridiculous that it caught the attention of 2 psychologists, David Dunning and Justin Kruger. This led them to study how people with very little knowledge often overestimate their intelligence.
I kind of said that. I talked about how dumb and low IQ some of these people are. People who are going to rob a bank, for example. You got to be pretty silly or mad genius, one of the two, no in between. And then I said it was inspirational how they actually believe that this would work. There's like something interesting to learn from that, and these guys agree with me. What does that make me? A genius.
Facebook. Meet Nicholas
Facebook.
Wigg, a man who thought he had pulled off the perfect crime. One rainy night in 2014, he broke into James Wood's house in South St. Paul, Minnesota, stealing credit cards, cash, a watch.
Very off topic, but one of my favorite memes of all time is when Joe Biden says, Minnesota! So please just put that in right now. Minnesota! And if he ever says Minnesota again in this video, put in Joe Biden saying Minnesota. I love it so much.
He broke into James Wood's house in South St. Paul, Minnesota,
Minnesota!
stealing credit cards, cash, a watch, and other valuables. He even took a moment to settle in before slipping away unnoticed. When Wood came home, he immediately knew something was wrong. His door was unlocked, his house was a mess, and his belongings were missing. But then he noticed something unusual: wet clothes on the floor, and on his computer screen, a still open Facebook account belonging to a certain Nick. Instead of calling the police right away, Wood posted a status on Nick's own profile, announcing to the world that this man had just robbed him. He even left his own phone number, hoping for a response. And it worked, because Nicholas himself texted him. Wood offered to return his wet clothes in exchange for some of the stolen goods, and Wigg actually agreed. But instead of getting his clothes back, he got handcuffed, facing up to 10 years in prison and a $20,000 fine.
I just want to be in one of those people's brains for not even 24 hours, maybe like 2 hours, just to have an understanding of like, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you actually thinking? How is that possible that you thought that was a good idea? Oh my God. Wow, that is truly, truly remarkable. But ladies and gents, if you enjoyed today's video and want to watch another one, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and click right here.